Two games left on this season of the worst of the worst, and we have some turbulent waters ahead. This season, I think we've gone through a pretty decent list of games. Blood Drive, Castlevania 2, Silent Hill Downpour, Resident Evil Survivor, Escape from Bug Island, and last episode we have the current reigning game, Calling. Not The Calling, which would have made a much better title, just Calling. We take 8 games that I own. Yes, I'm aware there's a lot of really bad horror games that I need to do for this series, but I want to own a copy first. Doing it this way really helps with my backlog of games. And we see which one can topple the rest of the refuse and be named the season's king of crap. The categories used for this are game mechanics, presentation, story, and game feel. This time around, we take Todd McFarlane's Evil Prophecy for the PlayStation 2, and damn, this game got kind of roasted by game reviewers. I really don't put a ton of stock into reviews because I have such odd taste in games, but for this one, I have to point out a few.
Show no mercy.
This game is something we haven't played yet in this series, and that is the beat 'em up, a game style that doesn't really lend itself to the horror genre, or even horror adjacent, to be honest. The game mechanics are about as basic as they come, even more so than a game like Fester's Quest. You have attacks, some special attacks, and a button to interact with things in the environment. You can swap between 4 different characters on the fly, each with their own elemental attack. You often have small quests to be completed, slowly building up to a boss fight. Something which I had less interest in doing the longer the game went on. The issue is, like any other game like this, you fight waves and waves of enemy, and all of them seem to have just slightly too much health, making the fight a slog. Sometimes it's the little things that can make games like this amazing, even things like art style or music, but I'm afraid that what little I managed to play of this game brought none of this. So instead, it's mindlessly pressing button combinations to level up that combo, which you have to find statues to make each of them stronger. There's nothing about this game mechanically interesting. At least not that I found.
Show no mercy.
If you thought I was being harsh with mechanics section of this, well, the game really falls apart here. There's a lot to this game for this department, but I'm afraid none of it really goes together. There's no voice acting in the cutscenes, though at the time I'm not sure if that was really a good or a bad call. Now when you fight, there are some sounds that come from the characters, but I really can't call that voice acting. You play as 4 different characters, which is nice, but none of them seem very inspired, which is kind of weird considering this is a Todd McFarlane game. Like the dude who makes Spawn. You would think that they would manage to make sure they had some interesting characters. The monsters are stock for this kind of thing, but at least they have some interesting elements to them. Which is something that can't be said for the backgrounds. I thought the 360 PS3 era was the brown era of gaming, but this looks bland all the way around.
Show no mercy.
Yeah, there's a text scroll in the beginning of the game. And thankfully, it's easy to break down. A bunch of crazy things are going on all over the world and no one knows how to stop it. Well, one person knows what's going on, and that is Dr. Hans, who has a book that talks of an evil prophecy. All the other playable characters are victims of the events going on, but they are somehow known for being amazing in some way. Logan Blackheart is a pirate, so Twitch would absolutely love this guy. Delphine, who's a marksman, Soon to Know, who's a warrior shaman, and Hans himself. There's nothing that stands out about these characters visually or narratively. I mean, the game is a beat-em-up, so I can't say I'm super shocked by, the narrative not being all that strong, but I would have hoped for better. A quick comparison. Now, horrible disasters all over the world with crazy monsters, but bland, boring worlds somehow, and characters, versus bright and vibrant world and fun characters where the villain stole the Statue of Liberty. Just saying, one sounds more interesting. Which one would you pick?
Show no mercy.
This game feels fine, I guess. I mean, it's just mashing buttons for the most part. Sure, there are combos, but it feels like they do such a small amount of damage that it's kind of a waste of time. The map system is rough at best. You're supposed to find some objects in the first area, and after a while playing the game, the idea of having to search the 3D space seemed less than amazing, so I ended up saying to hell with it. You're supposed to get stronger as the game goes on, but when you're playing it feels like you're making no progress, and seeing the statues to level up pop up right away, and you can't do anything with them, I started getting this feeling of why even bother. This is the modern equivalent of forcing a player to feed a machine quarters to keep playing. A way to force you to either spend more money, but this is the PlayStation 2, so it's done more to force you to spend more time in this game.
Humiliation.
This game could have been right up my alley because I actually do enjoy beat-em-ups. But I like older beat-em-ups, and I feel like this is the generation of gaming where they really were not hitting their stride anymore. This game is fine if you want a mindless game, and that's perfectly fine. But for me, I just felt bored. Not so fine. Now, if we contrast that with the last game in the series, Calling, well, then this game is actually amazing. Calling started out fine, I'm using that word a lot all of a sudden, like this one did, but Evil Prophecy didn't make me angry when I played it. I can overlook a lot of issues as long as, in the end, they're still fun to play, and seriously, this game, while not being fun, wasn't infuriating. Guess that leaves Calling still reigning supreme for this season. Either way, I hope you liked the video. I'm Adam the Horror Historian. Did you play this one? I don't think many people even know what this is. Thank you for watching The Worst of the Worst. Next episode is the finale for Season 2. We are pitting Calling against a book tie-in? I guess?